Sean McDermott just pretty much announced that he's going to be calling plays here in 2023 and releasing a secret weapon for the Buffalo Bills. Cannot wait to see how this thing unfolds. Now, he did admit that if things go haywire, if other positional groups or positional coaches, they start to slack, that he might have to give up those duties. But you know, it looks like Sean McDermott, for the first time of being a Buffalo Bills head coach, he is going to be dictating the calls here in Buffalo, which is why he got his name. Well, welcome here to my channel, Bills News Consolidated. We're here in the Florida Keys hanging out. I hiked to the spot. I got a crazy like Cuban boat thing here too. Anyways, but guys, this is absolutely huge news for the Buffalo Bills. Sean McDermott is going to be calling plays, that secret spice that the Buffalo Bills have been missing for this Buffalo Bills defense. It's going to be absolutely dynamic. And then you consider all the players that we have fully healthy going into 2023. At some point during the 2023 season, we're going to have Von Miller, Trey White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, all these guys out there that were out for Bills Mafia last year. They're all going to be on the field at the same time, something we have not seen. So when we look at guys in a contract year like Ed Oliver, trying to get the most out of Ed is going to be surrounded by talent. Each and every single one of these players is going to be surrounded by talent. You know, Von Miller surrounded by talent. You eye up Von, you're freeing up other spaces on this team. And I know Sean McDermott, one thing that we've been lacking is one area is when we've been up against the wall. When our backs are up against the wall, we get too complacent. And I could honestly say, you know, if Leslie Frazier was the one calling the plays, you got to stay aggressive. You got to stay aggressive. And I think it really boils all the way back to that first playoff loss against Houston, right? When Deshaun Watson completed that pass to Tywan Jones, we were playing off coverage then. We didn't learn our lesson. We go into the Kansas City Chiefs in 13 seconds, right? Play off coverage and boom, tear us up. And then last year, again, versus Cincinnati, during critical moments of the game, we're playing off coverage, playing way too lax, having no creative play calls on the defensive side of the football. And I think that last year was the perfect year to get creative, to call the blitzes, to call the stunts, to do everything, because we didn't have the players that were out there. We didn't have the veteran leadership that was out there. So it leads me into my next point here is, you know, when you get into those critical moments of the game, high pressure situations during the game, you know, you're not firing on all cylinders. I think it's much easier to run an offense because you know where you have to run. Defense, you're kind of reading and reacting, and it's been scientifically proven that your muscles slow down when you're nervous. So I think when you could dictate on the football, on the defensive side of the football, when you could tell your players where to go instead of having them think, that is the best move to make, you know. So when you're in 13 seconds or you're in these critical moments of the game, instead of playing off and being complacent, Buffalo Bills, man, we literally should stay aggressive. We got to stay aggressive, and I think that is exactly what Sean McDermott is going to bring to this play calling. Al Holcomb, defensive assistant, I'm sure they're going to have insight every single week, game planning wise, figuring out teams and doing all those things. But Sean McDermott, the reason why he got his name was because he's defensive coordinator, right? This is absolutely huge news for the Buffalo Bills. We are going to see a revamped defense. Even during this interview that happened yesterday, Sean McDermott even flat out said, you know, no one can run the system the way you can, right? You can implement a system, you could try to teach the system, but no one is going to run it exactly the way that you have implemented. And this is it. This is the secret sauce of the Buffalo Bills I think have been missing. This is the secret sauce that could easily get us over the hurdle, to get us into the Super Bowl, to start beating the Kansas City Chiefs, to start beating the Cincinnati Bengals, start winning Super Bowls here, right? And this is what it's all about. Sean McDermott calling plays. I'm absolutely psyched up. And, you know, when we look at it, I know a lot of people are saying, well, we don't have a middle linebacker. And that is something else he discussed, you know, relying on in-house guys, giving everyone a fair shot at that middle linebacker role. Even Terrell Bernard, Balin Spector, they're all going to be competing for that middle linebacker spot. And I think it's wise. And do not discount the fact that the Bills are not going to bring in a rookie linebacker. They're definitely going to sign a rookie linebacker. It makes most sense. The real question is whether they're going to do it 27th overall, if they're going to trade up, or if they're going to draft one later, maybe take offensive line, DeJuan Jones at 27th overall, and get a linebacker later like Dorian Williams. You know, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the Bills play it. Are we going to really rely on Balen Spector and Terrell Bernard? And the only thing that makes me think they might is because of how complicated this defense is. You're the quarterback of this defense, right? You got to call the plays. You got to communicate to the rest of the defense. You got to align that defensive front. You know, if you got to shift them, right? If you see something, you got to address it. You got to communicate to the back end, to Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde. Everything's got to be firing on all cylinders, all before the snap of that football. And there's a lot of confusion, right? We talk about it all the time. Eye candy, putting guys in motion, doing all these crazy things. How can a rookie NFL linebacker understand that? And will he be able to do that? And the proof is that it is possible. Luke Kuechly did that. He was under Sean McDermott, Al Holcomb, right? But Luke Kuechly, I believe, was a 9th overall pick in the NFL draft. So is it reasonable to consider that the Buffalo Bills draft a middle linebacker at 27th overall, such as Trenton Williams, Drew Sanders? Those are my 2 top favorite guys for the Bills. Trenton Simpson is definitely my top, but I really think Trenton Simpson, whatever he lacks, right, in instincts and knowledge, awareness of the NFL, he makes up for in athletic ability. Kind of opposite of what Tremaine Edmunds is. Like, we expected Tremaine Edmunds a little bit slower, right? But as the years progressed, understanding the game a little bit more, understanding pass coverage a little bit more, maybe he would become a little bit faster. But he did. But, you know, I really think we could bring in a faster linebacker who lacks a little bit more instincts and awareness, coach him up over these years, adapt him to the Sean McDermott scheme, adapt him to this evolved entire team with Josh Allen, a high potent passing attack, which we didn't know we were going to have when we first got Tremaine Edmunds. You know, I think it's huge to consider that the Bills will be getting a faster linebacker here in the Sean McDermott scheme, completely balling out of control. Sean McDermott calling plays. Proof is there. He even said it. I just hope everything goes right. Hopefully Sean McDermott doesn't have to delegate his time to anywhere else. It's pretty interesting that we had Leslie Frazier here as a defensive coordinator, assistant head coach, and you know, he finally decides to make a move to calling defensive plays. Now he finally feels comfortable, and I think Al Holcomb deserves a lot of credit. You know, I think Al Holcomb is a big reason for this. I think he's got a great relationship with Sean McDermott and, you know, Ken Dorsey, all that Carolina pipeline. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit like, subscribe. Go Bills. Peace out.